Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy, Mr. Chap Daddy, aka Kevin Chapman, aka the blackest dude you know, aka Chapman. I'm welcoming you back to my podcast, Chap with Chap. Episode 2. We got a good one this evening. Got a lot of stuff we want to get through, so I'm gonna try to not speed run it, but I just want to get all these things out before my internet cuts out again. But nevertheless, we're gonna do it big. We're doing good. We're gonna do it good today, and I got an illustrious guest on today. This young man, it's like a protege of mine. You know what I'm saying? I call him, the man of many questions, the kaiju king, the Spider-Man connoisseur. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the legendary creator, writer of Kairu, Slayer of Kaiju, my man Gerald Goodwin. Welcome to the Chat with Chat podcast, Gerald Goodwin. How you doing this evening, brother?
What's good, Sensei Chat? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How you feeling this evening?
Man, pretty good. So, how's this for an icebreaker? Hold up.
Okay. What we got?
Banger.
Oh.
Banger.
Oh, see.
Hitter.
Oh, he trying to win that guest of the year award already.
Yeah,
Oh,
you already know. I was about to say, I'm probably the only nigga thus far to bring that many books to this. I mean, it's only episode 2, but still,
Yeah, absolutely, man. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate the love, man.
I just wanted to basically emphasize to the viewers, I don't waste my money on stupid shit. So go follow Kevin Chapman right now. His stories are amazing. They're definitely, like, honestly, your cliffhangers are phenomenal, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that, man. Hopefully we get back to Afro soon after I'm done with the Black Man Eternal Conflict book. That's going to be dropping pretty soon. But to start this show off, like we start off every show, I like to pick my guest brain and the people that are watching, and I like to start off with the verses. I usually choose 2 superheroes from 2 backgrounds. I show them to my guest, and he doesn't get the answer at the moment. We get through talking, let his brain get a little fuzzy. Then we come back to it, and we see what he says. So today, our verses this evening will be, if it was,
oh shit.
we got John Bernthal's Punisher versus John Cena's Peacemaker. Okay, we got John Bernthal's Punisher versus John Cena's Peacemaker. Won't answer right now, but once we get good in the show, get the vibe and we get the moving, and we're gonna go back to that. We got our first comment of the evening. I'm pretty sure this person is showing you some love, much love and support. So
what's good, baby?
It was good. So, Gerald, let's start off with this, man. What? I got a twofer for you.
Okay.
Introduce yourself to the people that don't know who you are.
All right.
And B, introduce the people to your book and your journeys thus far that you've been in the game so far.
Got you. All right. So what's up, folks? My name is Gerald Goodwin. Comic creator. Buffalo's one of Buffalo's local talents. Aside from Kevin Chapman, right here, the great. So, and see the thing about it, I'm gonna just provide a little background in reference to like me and you. So, I don't know how many years it's been, but I would say maybe over 4 years ago, I met you. I remember I met you at a local Comic-Con, and it was me and my homeboy at the time, and we went up to your table, and we're looking at this title called Afro Avenger. I don't know what exact issue it was, but all I remember seeing is Afro Avenger, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, okay, you know what? That first off, that's a kick-ass title. Second, shit. Subconsciously, I got a bunch of stories in my brain. I mean, shit. Why haven't I done this yet? You know what I'm saying? So, like, honestly, and I want to thank you live, man. Like, I just really want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for like basically having enough confidence and enough like I guess audacity to put yourself out there first and foremost, because and see, this is why it's so important to put yourself out there. You don't know who is going to really be like inspired by that. So, and sure enough, I mean, I was inspired to, it took some years, obviously, but about maybe like 2.5 years later, I come out with my first craft that was called The Effects of Butterfly X. Unfortunately, that had to be canceled due to a bunch of legalities and all that jazz.
Mm-hmm.
So here I am right now with Kairu Slayer of Kaiju. And right now, I think fortune is serving me better this time around because I'm on not just one and two,
Mm-hmm.
but three issues right now.
Oh, okay.
And it's really amazing. I'm loving the feedback that I'm getting from fans. Um, Honestly, there's been people who have read my stuff and they said that, of course, along with it being funny, you know, it changed their lives in a very positive way. It inspired them. I mean, recently, I would say like 3 weeks ago, I was on local TV on the news for Channel 4.
Right.
So, and a lot of people were inspired by that. In fact, I get random friend requests and random follows on Instagram basically saying, "Hey, I saw your stuff. It was very inspiring and, keep up the good work." And honestly, when you have those, when you're in those dark times, when you're feeling low, or if you're like if battling with depression, that can really mean a lot. So
Okay. I mean, to answer your question, I think we go back 4 years, maybe. If you've been in
okay.
the game, if you've been in the game 3, we at least go back 4. Where from my side of the story, Gerald came up to my table. I was just, doing a regular show, and like Gerald kind of had this, look on his face, like, like I don't know if he was confused or just checking out the table. But the first thing he said was, "I'm gonna ask you something, man. Do you know who I'm supposed to be?" So I'm like, "Is he talking about himself? Like for real, right now?" Like I said, "Nah, you Morgan from The Walking Dead." Thank you. Because he was dressed as Morgan, and then didn't nobody get his
Yo, I
outfit.
remember that cosplay. I
then,
remember that
then
cosplay.
nobody get his outfit. So I'm like, all right, well, I mean, you Morgan, brother. He said he was looking at the tables or whatever, and then he bought a couple books. And then that entire time he was there, my man at least asked me like 217 questions about about how to get the game going, just get going. I tell him, even when he in my to this day, I tell him anything I can to drop some jewels. I say, look, just do it. Just get the process going. Listen, you'll never know until you do it. Haven't I said that to you, G? Like,
Nice, and it's carried me far. It's carried me far.
yeah, just do it. Like, I'm telling you, because you're gonna think it's scary with that first book. And like what I usually tell people all the time is like, the first book is never scary. The first book is fun. It's the
Yeah,
follow up, and then the follow up, of continuing, telling stories or whatever. But not to get too far off of that. Tell us about the Slayer of Kaiju, man. Like, who is Kairu, Slayer of Kaiju, for the people that don't know about this character, man? Like, who is the Slayer of Kaiju?
and it's funny because people tell me all the time, or ask me all the time. They look at Cairo and they basically go, "Is that supposed to be you?" And honestly, my answer for that, Cairo, because like there's a lot of like metaphors in this series thus far. So Cairo is honestly supposed to represent the everyman, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that person. So basically, I want to take the idea that this could have been anybody that was granted a um, magical nanotech suit. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And Kairu, as you can see, well, I don't know if you have any images of issue 1, but
Mm-hmm.
the way this all began, it began with him basically being like, in his bed.
Mm-hmm.
And one night, these random, goofy, silly aliens that aren't really that competent because, they literally stumble during the abduction process.
Mm-hmm.
So for lack of a better term, they end up taking him after doing their shenanigans or whatnot, and they literally take him aboard the craft, and they basically present to him the magical nanotech alien suit.
Okay.
And for those that may not already be aware, they basically present to him like this choice, like, hey, you can go back to Earth being normal, live a life of normalcy, or you could actually be presented like this gifted, magical suit and actually have an opportunity to change not just your life, but those around you and, for the good, for the greater good of humanity. And so Cairo, of course, because there's three issues now, he of course takes this suit and he uses it to battle giant kaiju monstrous threats that are running rampant on his planet Earth, obviously. And the thing about, the main theme of Cairo is the fact that, like, I wanted the theme of, I wanted there to be a theme and / heavy presence of PTSD and what these characters use their PTSD, and how they basically apply their energy to basically go about using PTSD as like the fuel to their fire, so to speak. So, for example, and actually, I think this is going to be the first time I officially named this character to you live. You probably seen this character in issue 2 and went, he's probably going to be a problem. But this guy right here. So I actually did a reveal a couple days ago, but I didn't want to officially reveal it yet, so I took it down. But do you? I want you to take a guess. What's his name going to be? This is the big bad guy right here.
What, at the top left corner?
Right here.
If you say Kevin, I know it's going to be an issue.
No.
What's his name going to be?
So this guy's name, and he is, of course, the kaiju threats are, of course, a obstacle for Cairo and like everyone else to overcome. But he's the main big bad of this series, of this saga, so to speak. And his name is Mr. Steel Yabich.
Mr. Steel, you bitch.
I kid you not. That's his name.
Hey, man. For real, that's what's up, man. Mr. Steel, your bitch. We got a question from my man Kenji. Kenji hitting us with the questions. Thank you, Kenji. What are your favorite kaiju movies, comics, etc.? Well, that's a good question for somebody like Mr. Goodwin right here. Go ahead.
God. We're gonna be on here for 5 hours, good.
Okay, at least give me your favorite. I know I'm about to put you in the pickle with this one. Give me your favorite kaiju movie.
Oh, damn.
Comic, and then that will segue into what I'm about to ask you next. So, favorite movie and comic right now.
Oh man! All right, so for that, I gotta pick 2 recent ones that came out in the States, and that's gonna be Godzilla v Kong, and then of course Godzilla 2019. It's that movie is undervalued. Godzilla 2019. It's a great film. And then what else was the question? Sorry, I was so blown away.
And just favorite kaiju comic, if you even have one.
I have it right here.
Oh, okay. You had it ready. King of Monsters, Godzilla. Okay.
So you probably already know, Kev, because you're of course a comic historian yourself. But this is of course where he fights the Avengers.
Right, exactly. Absolutely.
Yep. And it's such a classic. And again, of course, so you have 2 of my favorite all-time fictional characters in one book. They don't fight, of course, because realistically speaking, what the fuck is Spider-Man gonna do against a giant radioactive lizard?
Right.
But it's a great book. Go check it out.
Okay, so I guess I'm a segue into 2 things. One, why Godzilla? I guess like I've always seen like just your just enamored just love for Godzilla, like anything Godzilla, anything that's giant and crawl and smashes buildings. But why Godzilla? A, why Godzilla? B, have you watched Godzilla Monarch, which I probably know you already have? And C, why you don't love Godzuki the same way you love Godzilla? Please answer those questions, Gerald.
All right, man. Okay, so why Godzilla? So here's the thing, and it's probably, if we're really asking why, it's probably my mother's fault. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, like, back in the day when I was like 2 years old, right? Back when Sci-Fi Channel was popping.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
She put on the Sci-Fi Channel, and it was, I remember very awesome detail. Godzilla versus the Smog Monster was playing,
Mm-hmm.
and as a youngin, as a toddler, I'm basically watching this. I'm like, okay, is that a super powered dinosaur? Is he fighting a monster that looks like crap? You know
Right.
what I'm saying? You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So
Right.
like, I'm obviously if you watch something like that as a youngin, as a toddler, that's gonna like leave quite the impression. First off, number one, and then second, um, over the years, Godzilla, like he's just a symbol. I mean, obviously, initially he was like a symbol of like the atomic bomb, but
Mm-hmm.
for many, he's a symbol of strength. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, he's a symbol of tenacity, perseverance. He's just this overall symbol of power. You know what I mean.
Right.
And as you already know, because like I come at Batman all the fucking time. I love and respect superheroes or fictional characters
Here it come.
with a shit ton of power. So
Here. Oh, okay. I thought you was about to shit on him. I thought you was about to. Thought you was about to shit on him this early in the podcast. But before I let you finish, man, first foremost, like last week, ladies and gentlemen, the brand new sponsor for this episode for this week. Let me hit y'all with it. All right. So we got a sponsor again this week. So slip and fall, don't know who to call. Accident got you out of work with no money. Call Brown and Reginald. The number one spot for the personal injury attorneys. Brown and Reginald. Broke your neck, get your check. Dial 1-800 I need a dollar. Personal injury attorneys of Brown and Reginald. 1-800 I need a dollar at 1155th Boulevard in Urban Newport. Only can find them at www.afroavenger.com and anything that
yo,
involves Afro Avenger. But 1-800 I need a dollar. Brown and Reginald, ladies and gentlemen.
I forgot what issue that joint was in. Man, I saw that before, obviously. But and
Man,
see, Kev, I'm gonna just address this real quick. What I like about your stories, so like, there's a bunch of like borderline meta, like inside jokes, like in the
okay.
advertising of the stories. You feel me? Like,
Mhm.
I remember reading a book and it said, "Play the lottery. You ain't gonna win, but do it anyway." I loved it. I loved it, man.
Man,
That
'cause
that
I
shit was
got I
brilliant.
got to show
It was
how
great.
sometimes like people are like kind of brainwashed and just like, and then I grew up in a time and era where it's like the advertising was so polarizing. When you go to the corner store or you walk through the neighborhood, it was just like advertising galore on Newports and sneakers and stuff like that. So just to incorporate that in the world of Afro Avenger is what means the most to me. But before we even get too far into this, I want to pick your brain about something not Godzilla like, but just get your
Oh,
idea of it. So we do, once again, ladies and gentlemen, which I think I love about this show. I'm able to bring this to you. We do have some breaking news. It's kind of old to y'all, but it's new to the show. Of Pedro Pascal is cast as Mr. Fantastic.
oh,
Um,
I thought
so
that was a rumor. Okay, that's real.
it seemed okay. How concrete it is, not too sure, but it seems like they are very heavy on this. Is what's sticking to the wall right now. So like, for you, does it even hold weight to you? Are you a wait and see type of guy, or like, do you just feel like it's not really my bag, and I'm gonna just roll with what comes out?
Okay, so honestly, what's the name of the other cat that was in Doctor Strange 2 that played Mr. Fantastic?
John Krasinski.
Okay, yeah, I forgot his name.
Mm-hmm.
So, in my personal opinion, that's the route. If I was director,
Mm-hmm.
if I was just in charge in general, that's the route I would go when it comes to like selecting these actors. But I mean, I don't have nothing against Pedro, but
Right.
that's the direction I would go to. You know what I'm saying? So,
I feel you. For me, because I was there. I don't want to say D-Day because that's just bad, but I was just there in the dirt when like Iron Man was getting casted and Robert Downey Jr. got casted
yeah.
Iron Man. I remember the same type of uproar for Iron Man.
Oh,
However,
sure.
however, however, it's kind of tough when you kind of gave people fan service with John Krasinski
Yeah.
and then you kind of pull the blanket back and it's Pedro, and like you said, it's nothing wrong with Pedro, but it's like, dog, like it's not even here yet. Like let's just see, what happens. Like, I mean, what if I mean, that's true. It's like Marvel. I mean, but hey, when you skating, when you skating, what 27 and 2 in
Mhm.
Marvel scores, like, I mean, it doesn't
Yeah,
really matter at
yeah,
this point.
yeah.
And but that's neither here or there. I didn't want to harp too much on that. I just honestly wanted to kind of like just touch base on that. So, Godzilla Monarch, have you watched it?
No, not at all. Yeah, I have.
I'm about to say,
Yo,
I
I
know.
honest like, yo, Kev. There's literally nights where like I'm sleeping, right, and
Mhm.
I'm like, shit, it's not Wednesday yet. Why isn't it? Because I'm waiting for the
Right.
third episode.
Right. Oh man, so like, I did get a glimpse of it. I watched the first episode, but then I got caught in between that and Scott Pilgrim. I was like, kind of
Yeah, yeah,
getting my full service of like
that's fair.
geekdom, get full service of geekdom. I watched the first episode, and just from the first episode alone, I'm like, this is starting off real well. See, Danny, you missed the sponsors. Danny, you should have been here paying attention to Danny. I had hold on. You know what, ladies and gentlemen, I usually don't do this. And
Oh.
I usually don't do. I'm Danny. Real quick, if you're watching, this is the sponsor. Okay? Broke your neck, get your check. 1-800. I need $1. Okay, Brown and Reginald, personal injury attorneys, 1100 55th Boulevard, Urban Newport. Can find them near you in AfroVenture.com. Broke your neck, get your check. 1-800. I need $1. Okay, Danny, that was just for you. But back to what we was talking about. The first episode was dope, man. It's like, with me now, because I remember when like streaming was a thing where it's like they dropped everything at once.
Yeah, right.
So now it's like, do I let it build up and just catch up? And I know I'm in the world of like, I gotta dodge spoilers left and right. So it's like, I feel like, do I just let it build a few episodes and watch? That's how I kind of did Jesus Christ. That's how I did Invincible. I wanted to like, kind of let that
Okay.
slide a little bit, at least like build like a couple of episodes in before I started watching. I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I waited, because like this is good, and I didn't want to cut that. So appreciate it, Danny. So what is for Cairo? Let's get back to you. What
Yeah.
is the ending goal, or what is I don't want to say finish line for Cairo? What is the next step? Because as a person who's been where you at, you got the process of getting the book out,
Yeah.
right? You got to the process of like, you went from fan to creator in a matter of months time, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
What is the next process like? Because I see you print a certain way. Do you see yourself printing to the point where it's like, more cleaner style, maybe more anime style, more professionalism? What is the next step for Gerald Goodwin and Kaiju Slayer of Kaiju?
I'm glad you brought that up, because like, this is issue 1 right here, right? And as you can see, some would like try to come at me and basically say, man, what type of shit is this? It look like a funeral pageant.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
But I mean, I have nothing against like the methods that you use or any other like more standard comic creator would use. It's really more so like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I got a kid to take care of and shit, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
like, I'm doing like what's kind of a lot of time, like, I'm not saying I'm never gonna do that, but a lot of times, sometimes you just have to like, this sounds so like ghetto, but like do what's cheaper. Do
No,
what's cheaper.
listen, dog. Listen, anybody that know me who a true fan of Afro Avenger, not even to cut in the Gerald story, the first 8 issues was black and white because I was broke. But at some point when issue 9 was coming out, I had to make the grown man decision.
Yeah,
The only way I could be able to tell certain stories, I have to go to color.
yeah.
Could I've told the Applejack stories in black and white? Probably. Would they have the same effect? I don't think so.
Mm.
But that's neither here or there. But no, Gerald, trust me. Anybody who starts in this game know that you gonna pick the route that's more comfortable for you to at least sustain it. So that's
Yeah,
nothing like here and there. Especially you getting your toe wet. But I guess I was asking that because you 3 issues in and you passed the the toe wet portion.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like you said, you got a kid to take care of and stuff like that. So like, if you had to give yourself an issue, a book, or time frame, just I'm putting you on the spot right now. And when are you going to be done getting your toe wet? When you going to fully swim and immerse into the dream that you want to at least expand upon for other people to notice you and get a bigger audience?
I would say so. We at like issue 3 right now. I would say maybe once issue 4 drops, or at sometime after, probably
Mhm.
around there.
Okay. Do
Around
you
there.
do you see yourself? Because I know you ask me a lot of times, and like, dog is literally just like when you juggling both your book and other people projects and contracts and stuff like
Yeah.
that, it becomes a
Yeah.
crosshair. So it's like, do you see yourself upgrading like in just development and things of that nature? How you building a team? Do you feel like, are you building bridges with other artists to kind of like see your vision, or do you feel like your vision is just, this is my artist, this is my style, we're gonna ride with this until we can't ride with it no more? Like, what is like that next step? Like, what is that trajectory like for you?
So yeah. So right now I work with So right now, basically under what like with it, in terms of like the production company for the Kairu verse, it's a 3-man production company.
Mhm.
Um, myself, creator, of course, and then um, my man's Ramon Morales Jr., who serves as the illustrator, and of course Xavier. Um, I went to college with him. Like man, like I man, we go back like in terms of like college freshman year, you know. So
Mhm.
like he's in charge of like the color, and so honestly, and what I like to do, I don't want to seem like that guy, but like what I like to do is I like to give like my homies like an opportunity to like shine, or like put themselves out there
Mhm.
until they don't want to do it anymore. And so basically that's kind of like the way we on right now, you know what I mean?
Okay. Okay. So you're essentially just riding with your two homies until essentially till the wheels fall off, or till you feel like the direction needs to be different.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I think we live in a world where the business is good when you love doing it, but it's terrible when it becomes business.
Yeah.
Is I hate to
Yeah.
bring up sports analogy on the show. I said I would keep it as like minute as possible with sports analogy, but it's like when you a star player, you kind of like, or you on the rise, but for some unfortunate reason you get cut. So I guess I'm asking, like, I'm throwing darts at you right now. If there came a time where you felt like you had an opportunity to be bigger, but you had to cut your losses, do you see yourself doing that, or do you feel like you just riding with your friends? Does your friends come with a compensation package? How would you how would you tackle that? Because I mean, I'm a solo guy, so like for me,
Yeah.
I make the decision
Yeah.
for myself. You actually have like a team of people to help you along this process. So like, where do you feel like you ever? Do you feel like, how can I kind of shorten this question up? Do you feel that that's a bridge we'll cross when we get there, or if we get to that bridge, we will never cross it? Do you feel like that's a possibility?
It's more so like it would fall more so along the former, like get there when we get there. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't, like,
Mhm.
knock on wood, I don't foresee them like stopping anytime soon.
Right.
But if they ever do, I mean, I'm very see, and it's so fucking weird. Like I despise Batman, but like I am so like I can one thing I relate with them with is like that prep time, man. Like I like to think 100 steps forward when it comes to
Mm.
things. So like even when we get there, like I'm confident like Kyrie will probably still like thrive.
Okay. Okay. I mean, that's good to have, man. That's good, a good mindset to have, because it's like, as a creator, you're gonna hit the wall. You're gonna hit at least three. The the why am I doing this? That's one. The is this going anywhere? That's two. And the third and final wall, should I continue?
Mhm.
As a creator, you're gonna hit 3 of those walls, and hopefully, you new in this game, you hit them separately. Some people hit 3 of them at the same time.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's and it tests you. It's like being in the comic book industry or being anything where you gotta anything. This is why I say this. Anything where you have to sell one thing to somebody else
Yeah.
is going to be the toughest assignment you can do. So
I got a story. What? Not to cut you off. I got a story to tell once you're
Mhm.
done. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, but I commend you for seeing it through. I commend you for taking because I listen, G, not trying to be funny. Not only are you not the first person to come to my table and ask me questions, you weren't the last, but you were the only one who kind of like took what I said and ran with it. So you just being here in this moment with 3 books under your belt is a testament of just do it. Just what is the worst that can happen? Quiet as kept. Danny and everybody else, the Just Do It came to me starting the podcast. There's no telling what the next Just Do It is going to be.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
do it. But go ahead. You said you had a story to tell me.
Yes. So like the key word you said when the key phrase you said of like trying to promote or sell your craft to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna lie. I mean, shit. I've been to like plenty of comic cons or like festivals or artistic festivals where like I'm trying to like promote like a book like this to somebody that might not even necessarily be like a comic book enthusiast. And I've had plenty of experiences where like I felt like Lil Rel's character from Get Out, where he went to the cops about the sex slave story. He's like, "Hey, my man's probably a sex slave. We gotta help him."
Right.
And
Right.
he's forced to like just look back as these cops are laughing at him. You know what I'm saying? I've
Mm-hmm.
been there like plenty of times, but I think it, if we want to get into words of wisdom, I tell people all the time, you got to be consistent.
Oh,
You
absolutely.
got to be consistent and realize that life, unfortunately, I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer, but life, unfortunately, isn't always fair. But you got to know how to play it.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, like, trust me. Like, I've done shows where I came in, cleaned house, like my whole table got cleaned up. I've done shows where my table has been dry, like I get the looky loos to keep hope alive, people, keep doing what you're doing. I've come across them all, and it's like it it's one thing about this comic book business. I can honestly say I kind of treat it like comedy to a certain extent. Like it will humble you faster than it will help you. That is for certain. That is for certain. But enough about me. You said you were inspired by Stan Lee and Kevin Chapman in your questionnaire, sir.
Yes.
Why is that? Let the world know why is that. I mean, I'm gonna sit back and let you tell the story, but go ahead. Why is that? G, like what is so inspiring about Stan Lee and myself? So please enlighten the audience
So
what's going on.
even man, like even when I was going to like grade school and stuff, like I've always been a first off, I told you that story of I told you that Godzilla story for like so ever since I was a baby, I've always been a geek. But reading Stan Lee's material, especially when like Spider-Man 1 and 2 were hot, reading picking up those books from like the
Mhm.
newspapers and stuff, like reading like the way he writes and like communicates the story to the reader, like good evening, true believers, like
Right, right,
that
right.
all that stuff is like just really connected with me, especially being like an English enthusiast, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I think like that was just Eng- man, there's been so many essays that I've written in like college and school that have like just gotten A's and B's. I've always been like gifted at the English language. And so like that always just resonated with me. You know what I'm saying? Like Stan Lee, he's a go, especially when it comes to conceptualizing certain characters. I mean, not just Spider-Man. I mean, shit, Fantastic Four. You know what I'm saying? The
Mhm.
Hulk. The man is creative.
Right.
And so I feel like that's where I clicked at. You know what I mean? And of course, when it comes to you, I mean, shit, we just shared the story like damn near
Right,
30
right.
minutes ago. Like, and it's amazing, bro. Like, it's funny that you remember that first question. I thought the first question was going to be something comic book related, not cosplay
Nah,
related.
like I said, if y'all just tuning in right now, I told the story how I first met Gerald. Gerald came to my table. He was looking at the table, but he looks me dead in my face and said, "Do you know who I am? Who I'm supposed to be?" And I'm like, "Do you work for the hall or something, bro?" Like, but no, I said, "Are you Morgan from The Walking Dead?" And because nobody would get this man costume, but I said he was
Yeah.
Morgan from Walking Dead, but you bring up somebody that Stan Lee created. We all know who he is. Our friendly neighborhood, wall crawling, web slinging Spider-Man, your favorite superhero.
Yep.
So to segue into that, how do you feel about the Madam Web trailer? If you seen, if you seen it, because that's your boy and that's your universe. I mean, he not in it, but it's the spider adjacent people. So I'm gonna let you go
Yeah,
ahead and give your hot take before I give mine
bro.
because I got a good one. So I'm gonna
Oh
let you go.
man.
The Spider-Man fan give his, ladies and
Oh
gentlemen.
man.
Gerald
So
Goodwin on the state of Spider-Man and Sony.
so there's no way to sugarcoat this. I sometimes Sony just needs to stop. Um,
That's
there's
it.
no way to sugarcoat it because first off, I didn't even look at the trailer because like I didn't want to dignify it. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Right.
so I just looked at the images and especially I don't even you had that fake like Dollar General knockoff version of Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm looking at it, I'm like, yo, what is this? You know what I'm saying? That's all I gotta say about it.
I'm gonna try to keep mine short and sweet. I posted two very thoughtful comments on it on Facebook. If you follow me on Facebook, um, as a person, because I don't want to. What I don't want to do, I don't want to be a hypocrite. As a creator, right? I know Zack Snyder is not the best or favorite or everybody's palette, but as a creator, getting their full vision out for me is always let that man get his vision out, whoever is directing it, right? However, Sony don't know when to take a W and walk away sometimes. And I understand that they're doing this essentially just to keep a hold of the Spider-Man
Yeah,
rights. I get that, but sometimes you just gotta take the win, go back home, pick up your ball, put it in your bag, and walk off the court, right? Because okay, I didn't want to do this, but we're gonna do it, right? So you gave us Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Whatever your thoughts on those movies, cool, right? You gave us Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. First one was a jump, was a leap in a different direction
yeah,
because obviously he was inspired by the Dark Knight and the darker
yeah,
films
yeah,
at the time. Get it? Fine. You give us Spider-Man 2. Obviously, you had a little bit of villainitis. You kept pressing the more button, and sometimes more is not the best, right? Especially when you got to tell the story of multiple characters in a movie. It gets convoluted sometimes.
yeah.
Like, have you not learned your lesson? Then
Yo, what the fuck
Spider-Man
was
goes.
up with that goblin, bro?
Listen, I don't, I don't even want to look at that guy. I'm still mad that James Franco, Harry Osborn, wore like a ski mask with some goggles. So like, we're not even gonna get into that. Then Spider-Man goes over to the MCU. Yay, hooray, finally.
Yeah.
The winning team gets the guy, right? And then it's like, but damn, Sony got the rights to
Yeah.
certain characters. So it's like Marvel can't really do what they want to do. So the best thing they can do is like, hey, let's give them kid Spider-Man, which is fine, but it's like,
When I saw it,
he's
bro,
why is he still acting kiddish? But I'll let it ride, right? I'll let it ride. I'll let it
it
ride.
was
I
very
love Homecoming.
bittersweet for me. Yeah.
I love Homecoming. Then Far From Home comes out, and I'm like, okay, like MCU,
Yeah. Yeah.
yay, what I mean, like, like MCU, got it, like like I did that. Then No Way Home came out, and I said, see, this is my issue right here, right? It's like you had a good thing going, and it's like It's too many people in the kitchen. And the thing is, there's nothing wrong with No Way Home. It's just like, okay, let me bring myself
Yeah, you're
down
gonna
from
have
the
to
rant.
break this down for me.
Let me bring myself down from the rant. Okay. My only issue with most of the Marvel's singular characters, now I'm doing the Barack Obama, but my only problem with Marvel and the singular characters, by the time they get to the multiple movie part of their story, it essentially turns into Avengers 2.5 and 3.5 and stuff like that.
Yeah,
It's like when people try to
yeah.
listen, because I already know. Hopefully, if this blasts my comments, great, because it'll be great for the algorithm. But people argue me all the time that Captain America is the greatest superhero trilogy of all time, and it's like, dog. But let's be real. You got Captain America, Winter Soldier, and you got Avengers 2.5 and Civil War. Like, let's be real. Let's be real. But that I digress. I'm gonna get off that. I'm gonna get off that ledge. I'm gonna get off that ledge. So, G. So I asked you earlier, beginning of the show, versus question between John Bernthal's Punisher and John Cena's Peacemaker. Who do you think will win this fight? All out battle. All weapons are included. No help.
Mm.
Who do you think takes this W and why?
You know what? So I'm glad time was allotted to for me to like successfully formulate this conclusion here. Yo,
Mhm.
so I'm gonna just say this. If Punisher, I feel like if Punisher is given the precious prep time,
Mhm.
he can maybe somehow earn a W from that. But if it's like a straight up like random circumstance of like, oh, same universe, oh, who the fuck is you? Boom. I think fucking Peacemaker is coming out of that.
Okay.
If that makes
So,
sense.
but I get what you're saying, but to put the final nail in the coffin so I can hit the gavel, you give it to who?
9 times out of 10, Peacemaker. Yeah.
Peacemaker. I'm going to say against my better judgment, and as great as John Cena is as Peacemaker, John Bernthal is deadly. He is the man that just keeps from the 2 seasons, and that's crazy. From 2 seasons of the Punisher, you saw this is a man that just gonna keep coming. He
Oh
gave me a
yeah.
lot
Oh
of
yeah.
it gave me a lot of Rambo vibes where it's like you gonna have to put a dynamite in this man's pocket to like take him out because he's just gonna keep coming. Don't get me wrong, this goes Peacemaker. I think quiet as kept. If Peacemaker's not being a doofus, he might give John a fair one though. Because
Yeah.
the man is skillful, but he's dumb. That's his biggest issue. He's just dumb. Well, that's how John Cena portrayed him. He's just
Yeah.
dumb. But
Yeah.
I originally was gonna do Captain America versus Peacemaker, but I already knew that was probably gonna be a
Ooh.
landslide.
Oh
So,
yeah.
but
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
but no, John Bernthal's Punisher. I think he'll probably take the win. To segue into something different, but not segue, but back up and go a little different. How do you feel? If you're even a fan, how do you feel about the state of DC where they at right now? I mean, the Aquaman trailer, they dropped another one
That
today.
looks like it's gonna be
I,
flames.
yeah. Do you have a favorite DC project from that last iteration of the DCU, or just you just kind of
Um.
waiting for the new thing with James Gunn?
So, and here's the thing. This is what I don't really understand when it comes to like the mass audience. Like a lot of people were. I remember being at the Shazam 2 showing, and people were
Mm.
lit like this is not a myth. Like people were literally next to us, like just shitting on the movie. and 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 my thing is this. Okay, so maybe I don't know. Like why do you think people thought it was bad? You know what I'm saying? Because that's my favorite.
I think people because and this is me and I'm gonna be real. I did not see Shazam 2,
Oh,
but from what I'm a base off what I heard and versus what I know versus Shazam 1. Shazam 1 was wholesome.
yeah,
You see what I'm saying? It had a good feeling to it. It was like a movie where it's like you kind of like you found yourself because DC is good for like the films are good for portraying like dark characters, whether you like it or
yeah,
not. They were doing the dark characters. But Shazam was like one of the first ones where it was like it was wholesome, it was different, it was cool. I think that's where Aquaman gets the same success, where it's like it's brighter, it's Marvel-y, so it just kind of like looks the same. But like Shazam was wholesome, and then to top it off, and this is all Dwayne the Rock Johnson's fault. So if he ever sees this, I am blaming him for this. If he didn't have such an iron grip on like how he wanted Black Adam to be, Black Adam should have been the villain in part 2. Like there's no ifs, ands, buts about it. He should have been the villain in part 2.
Okay.
And it's like, dog, like here you are holding on to Shazam's number. That's like, just not to get too far off, that's like somebody get the rights to Joker, but yeah, Joker should never meet Batman. That is so dumb.
That's why I don't rock with the Venom verse.
You're right. It's the same. It's the same exact thing. It's like, here's Venom. Unless the multiverse happens and convergence happens, Venom will never know who Spider-Man is. And if y'all, I know it's a couple slick people that's probably watching, probably not, right? If you comment talking about, well, he did see him in that ending in the MCU, they erased that. They erased all of that when he went back to his own timeline. So, done.
Yep.
So, speaking of Venom is part of your favorite guy's superhero, correct? He's a villain of yours?
Yes.
So, we have a part of this show called Is He Your Favorite? It's my little questionnaire. And in the questionnaire, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be on this show, I ask the question, who's your favorite superhero? And I'm going to ask the guest 5 questions in a matter of 30 seconds and see, does he know who his favorite superhero is? Ladies and gentlemen, we have Gerald Goodwin on today's episode of Is He Your Favorite? Okay, so G, I got the clock on my phone because it don't work on the computer. So just so anybody, I ain't playing G. He got 30 seconds on the clock to get through 5 questions. I'm gonna start the clock after the first question, and how many you can get right. The current record is 2 because Danny J. Quick swore he was a Captain America fan and he only got 2 answers right. So, so all you gotta do is beat 2 to hold the title. Okay.
All right.
So I'm gonna start the clock after the first question. So, first question for the Spider-Man fan.
Hey.
How old was Spidey when he got bit by the spider? How old?
Oh, sorry, you were lagging a little bit. I'm gonna say 16.
16. Wrong. Next question. What did his parents do for a living?
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Correct. I'll give you that. Okay. Number 3. Who was Spider-Man's first girlfriend?
Betty Brant.
Oh, correct. 2. All right. First Spider villain that Spider-Man fought was who?
I want to say Vulture.
Oh, wrong.
Ooh.
Name a Spider actor not named Toby or Tom Holland.
Andrew Garfield.
Correct. Nice job. So let's see. I asked you how old was Spidey when he got bit by the spider. You said 16. He was actually 15.
Ooh.
What did his parents do for a living? You said Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Correct. They were Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I asked you got this one correct. So the next one you got wrong was first Spidey villain that he fought. You said Vulture. It was indeed the Chameleon.
Okay.
And I'd have took anybody outside of Tom Holland or Tobey Maguire, but I did have a couple just listed because you did say Andrew Garfield, and that threw me through a loop. So that's a good one. I'll give you that. So you got 3 right. So, ladies and gentlemen, the new record holder for the Is He Your Favorite is Gerald Goodwin.
Listen, don't try to take my Spidey card, man. Listen,
like 3 out of 5 is dope. I was looking for Jake Johnson, Drake Bell, Neil Patrick Harris, or Nicholas Hammond. For those questions, but you got the record right now, Danny. Sorry, your record is officially gone. Gerald has 3 out of 5, and so we winding down near the end here. Okay, this is the Chat with Chap, and Gerald Goodwin, please tell everyone that's watching where they can find you, locate you, and purchase the Kairu, Slayer of Kaiju. I do have the QR code up here. If you want to purchase it now to his Etsy page, is the Etsy page still live? That's what's still going
Yo,
on.
so okay, I'm glad you brought that up. So right
Okay.
now, and I found this out from my fiance. Right now, Etsy, you know how like these apps experience like crashes and downs at times. For
Okay.
whatever reason, my Etsy is of course down because the whole like site is experiencing problems. But a good way to
Okay.
find me would be writer, like writer R, excuse me, writer WRITER underscore man 716. That's my Instagram.
Okay. Okay. So hit him with it one more time, G.
It would be writer WRITER underscore man MAN at 716.
Okay. Cool. And that's IG, correct? That's where we can
Yes,
find you on IG.
yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, right there, Writer Man 716 on IG. Find him. Is that the only place they can get you and get in contact with your books?
For now, since Etsy is down.
Okay, so please, y'all, hit up Writer Man 716. Get that Kairu or Kaiju Slayer of Kaiju. Excuse me, sorry, but please check out my man Joe Goodwin. He's a good writer. And like last episode, I'm going to try to cap this episode off with words of wisdom. Like I said before, my last words of wisdom. I'm not a vet in this game, but I've been in here long enough to where I can feel like I can spit some jewels. I have someone here who listened to said jewels, and here we are now. So this week's words of wisdom is going to be dedicated to pocket watching. This is not me telling you to stay in your own lane. This is me to tell you to understand that your road that you pay for yourself or that has came your way by this dream or gift that you're giving yourself, remember where you got there to get there. Or remember how you got there. Let me rephrase that. Remember how you got there, right? Just because the person that's walking on the road next to you strike lightning, don't worry about his lightning strike. You know, things are meant to happen for people when it's time to meant to happen. This is one of those businesses where the effort you put into it is the reward that's going to come back.
Yes.
So without being upset because somebody's journey is maybe going faster than yours, or somebody is shaking hands making deals with the next person, or maybe two people are sharing each other's posts to help each other and stuff like that, you can't worry about those things. Don't pocket watch. It's okay to want to be the person in the room or in the know, or you want to be the guy up front, or you want to get your name in the lights. We all do.
Yes.
If we didn't, we wouldn't be here. So I just want to say it's okay to look from behind the curtain and say, I wish, but just work on your craft. And like I said, this is one of those businesses where the more you put in, the more it will give back. And like I said at the beginning of the show, this is also one of those businesses that will humble you. It will highlight your flaws. It will highlight your highs, but it's a rewarding business. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Kevin Chapman. That's Joe Goodwin. We about to sign off. This is the Chat with Chap episode. And next week, we have we got another guest next week. You might notice, man, I don't even have his. It's been a busy weekend. The holidays are coming up. I don't have his profile ready, but you're gonna see it in the next day or two. Rich Real, the photographer, Rich Real, will be on next week. We're gonna talk about anything in photography. That man helped me out with a good solid last year, or was it the year before last year? It was last year. So next week, that's your brother, right? Let's see. Got the family connection going on over here, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna turn this to Family Feud in a minute. No, I'm just playing. But next week, look out for Rich Real. Same chap time, same chap channel. I got it, Danny. Same chap time, same chap channel. See you next week on the Chat with Chat podcast. I'm Kevin Chapman. That's Gerald Goodwin.